Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your timeless the love variant reading. Please bear in mind a few things before we get started. Please remember that these messages may hit home if Gemini is found in your sun, rising, and or Jupiter position. However, if you're here solely on your moon placement being in a sign of Gemini, you may be seeking emotional redemption that this reading may not offer. So check out my sister channel. The link can be found in the description box below to see whether or not any of the content made available or content to come may assist you on whatever it is that you're seeking for. Besides that, you can reach out to me via the description box below as well, via any type of tarot service and or remote healing session. Please know I am a master healer, so time and place plays no role in how satisfactory healing can be accomplished. All right, with that being said, past, present, and future energetical timelines could come forth within a reading, so use your discernment, of course, as always, to take all the messages that belong to you, and as naturally as possible, leave the rest behind that do not resonate. All right, so Gemini, there's a lot of nervous energy coming through, a lot of anxiety, a lot of anxiousness, a lot of feeling the pressure to be someone, and feeling a bit depleted at this time, in not like, how can I say, and not finding a security with oneself. I'm getting the innocent character upon me, and like this speaking over yourself, and speaking too fast, and kind of almost like speaking immediately what's on your mind, and then realizing that you had almost like lack of control in that, and so you see how it could almost like injure people or injure vulnerability within people. It's very interesting because you're going at it with a very vulnerable sense of spirit that doesn't mean to harm anyone, but you also don't know how to discipline this wrongness about you. It's very almost like lost, but also found, because you understand the issue, but not well enough to understand exactly the narrative as to where it belongs and whom maybe this energy also belongs to, so that way you can finally like almost cut the cord here of responsibility and really start healing whatever this is, whatever that topic of that energy comes up for you in your mind. All right, we're gonna get right in there, Gemini. Let's just move this for a moment. All right, get the charging cable out of my way. All right, so Gemini. You're taking too many things personal, Gemini. The mockery is that you have a big bark, so it's not about biting as an issue. They both would line up in power and in reason and in logic and pragmaticism, but it's about taking up more than you can actually handle and not coming up to like face value that you're having a hard time understanding something bigger than yourself. All right, the astronomer, discovery. Ow, just fucking stuck the shit out of me. Is that raining? Sure as hell sounds like it. The astronomer, discovery and augury. The miser, stubbornness, inflexibility. All right, that's all for this card. All right, so interesting, yeah. Like there's a lot of staying power. Staying power meaning suicidal ideations are out of the window. All right. It's not going to be a measure of solace or even an answer. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. That's all I will say. All right, that is not the answer. So darkness is an area where you can feel reborn as much as you can feel awkward in being in darkness because you cannot see anything. Your senses want to make it known that there is something around you, but you can't identify anything with all those feelings that you have in the darkness. So it's almost tearing your soul apart because you just don't know what to really focus on. But there are so many people that kind of almost depend on you, like you have a following perhaps, or you have a niche of people that you engage in social actions and social concerns and social politics, and you might be an enlightened motherfucker, but at the end of the day, you know, it's not easy to have this human experience and be a warrior in a stance of galactic light. It is not easy because the human consciousness is going to remind you of the circle of what human consciousness is all about and what they're facing and what is to be faced and what has already been healed for all of humanity. And to really get into the astrology of things is not to make yourself an astute astrologer or an astrologist or even needing to study any form of astronomy, because it has nothing to do with the information that has been around for echelons of time. They're just there to showcase how long time can be of value and how time can be time stamped, but in the essence of vibration, and nothing is very linear in this galactic metamorphosis of existence. So the staying power is feeling alive and while breathing, and feeling the death while living, and feeling the metamorphosis completely re-engaging itself from within you. And doing so, you really find yourself almost in a time portal, because you don't realize almost how much time has gone doing something that you really love, because you entertain a different time and space, that when you started then looking maybe at a regular clock, adjusting to that time and space, you may think that some time has gone by, and beginning, middle, and end, you understand exactly what happened, but you realize they kind of also didn't happen. No one's crazy here, but it's more of you're getting light frequencies, DNA, light codes, DNAs, downloads, all right, awareness epiphanies. The galactic light of ether and Mother Gaia is very, very loud to those who want to hear them. And for a lot of you here in this room, you're craving to be heard by Mother Gaia, and she is all around, and she is asking you to lessen the appeal of masculinity being the essence of God, but to changing it to at least a non-binary form of existence, and bind yourself to the knowing of what it could be of feminine and masculine energy. So we have the miser, stubbornness, and inflexibility. Having a really hard time adjusting again to the human appeal of human justice, of human suffering and human work and routine and ritual. Feeling very depleted by the fact that you have to almost sacrifice yourself to the almost mundane part of living, but knowing that there are precious moments attached, and even maybe not knowing that there are precious moments attached, but that's part of the life journey of having chosen a human experience, that it will mostly all really take fold in human wavelength expression, which is going to be much slower in regards of maybe showing up a representation around you, much faster because it already has happened and already is in a process of being manifested. Someone's afraid to look at two sides of a situation. So some of you who are really into the archangels and let's say also Archangel Michael, whom I'm not a huge fan of, neither one of my energies are a huge fan of that entity, of that depiction. And what is interesting is that when you are a bystander having an opinion about something, for someone who may find themselves being a master of a subject that you might just not have a lot of interest in, or you know enough to have your own opinion that you are no longer interested in, that it tends to come off as problematic and complex conversations of differences rather than meeting of the minds, and accepting those mutual differences because everyone's going to have them. This is still a love variant reading because we never know what shows up. All right, the Daughter of Cups. So wanting a renewal. All right. This definitely speaks on emotional redemption for me, but again, Sekhmet doesn't really read that. She reads as to why you want to seek it or why you think it hasn't already been accomplished for you. What is it that you think you need that hasn't been given to you? The Chariot, see? The Chariot. The Ether has given you a lot of things to work with. A lot of things to latch on and not only hope for, but to just take on whatever life wants to throw at you. And to not necessarily be okay with it, but to just go with the flow, right? Because going with the flow, Gemini, you understand, is not an easy feat. Yeah, it's not an easy feat. Six of Wands. And Death card. Alright, it's not an easy feat. But the structure of that is a resurrection. I said that a resurrection is needing to happen. A complete metamorphosis is needing to occur. Alright? And feeling that transition really take place and honoring as to why this energy keeps happening. Because you're surrounding yourself perhaps with individuals who are really attracted to your intelligence, the things that you have to offer in galactic light, but you're not realizing the boundaries you need to place for yourself in order to not feel so depleted, or also making the wrong dietary choices. I'm getting, all right, the wrong dietary choices here. With the Two of Swords here, some difficulty in pinning down quote-unquote right decisions. So decisions are just made until you realize, oh, maybe it was about not needing to make a decision. That will also ultimately test the limits as to how much you actually need. You can let go of needing to control the narrative. Your narrative is already being let out by you living and breathing. Father in Pentacles. Yeah, where your fragility of inner angst comes forth with attaching yourself to a very fundamental ego. That's the King of Pentacles energy here. It's coming through with being a very security, like very secured, has a lot of security to offer you, Gemini, because this energy gives you not only structure, but the almost like a timeout, slowing down, needing to slow down in the gamma waves of human consciousness to recalibrate yourself to why you are different. And the difference is for you to be a chameleon and blend in, but then when it's time to metamorphosize, you take yourself out of the equation and you allow yourself to be in your nesting. That will allow this resurrection to happen that you very much need. You need it more than you actually give yourself credit to. So if you already do this self-ritualistic care that you think you'll allow yourself a full metamorphosis of a cleanse and detox, there's something either missing or you need to do more. You need to remember to take a deep breath, Gemini. A deep breath down to the belly button. Judgment. Six of Pentacles. You trust the ether, which is beautiful. You do trust the ether, which is great. Yeah, it's great. Justice. You trust light. All right, you trust vibration of continuity. Sun energy, look at that. You literally trust light. You trust what you believe in. You trust what it is that you feel based on what you see, and the counteracting energies that heighten your experience or your epiphanies of the wisdom that you keep reaching in your own life. And it does show. However, it needs to show for you more so than in the opportunistic measurements of money maybe, or making sure your account is full. It needs to make sense in the currency of your soul. Yeah, it needs to make sense in the currency of your soul here with, hold on, with the King of Cups. The King of Cups, it's a very strong, powerful energy, okay? Is it the strongest? I wouldn't say so, because especially because tarot shows up, gives us the Magician and the Emperor card, right? It's all in perspective. But what is very powerful for the King of Cups is that loyalty and trust is the reason why he is sitting on the throne. This King of Cups, not all King of Cups, but this one is. All right, yeah, look at that, the Lovers. There's a lot of love and compassion coming through for this King of Cups. Very fruitful energy of love and light. The rainbow of crystal consciousness is vibrating through you, and of both feminine and masculine energetic qualities. And the ether is ready to rock and roll with you. You're a bit bored, but you're also so filled with love. Yeah, look at that. There's a lady, feminine and masculine energy. But there is, or body, feminine and masculine body, doesn't matter. But there is this very powerful figure that is there. Is showing up, all right? And the Six of Pentacles brings it home that this is a very beautiful connection that you can trust, that you can build off of one. Yes, fire and water, you technically don't mix, but this is not a codependent relationship. This is a dependent off of each other type of relationship, where the fruits and labor is literally gifted from one another to one another, comes with the manifestation of knowing how sovereign you individually aim to be or already are, and want to make manifest that destiny for each other. I see a family for this energy. I see a lot of craftsmanship, a lot of like business planning. Oh, the ether wants to work in secret with you too. Like, you two are, whomever this is, past, present, and future, is allowing you, Gemini, to feel very independent, very soul enriching, And at the same time, when this individual, whomever this is, and it's already in the trajectory of being in your life path, this type of energy, okay? And it's almost in like the shadows. So it's waiting to be entertained by the minions who love the idea of being together and then want to figure out if they can figure it out for themselves, how much they remember each other or not. Because it's almost like a secret being played with both of the duo's higher selves to keep it a secret to how much you actually are not only meant to be together, but are almost like going to be inseparable, because there is a need to share space near each other, that doing this for the long run, if this is happening right now with you at a distance for longevity, is going to drive someone cuckoo. Okay, not literally, like mentally, but emotionally, because they're so ready to go. This is a ready to go energy of the moon. This is not difficult, but this is different for this person. This is also different for this energy of the moon, typically in a reading, because the secret is that the vivaciousness of this love connection illuminates so beautifully at nighttime. Like, there's a lot of sensuality when the sun goes down, sharing the romance, sharing time spent together when there's less chaos outside, when people are sleeping maybe, you guys are out and about, out in the town, taking walks outside in nature when it's dark and everyone else is sleeping. Like, you like to do things a bit at an off tempo than everyone else, and the ether is having so much fun seeing you illuminate the darkness. Cute. I said there's staying power, all right? So there's a lot of you who are wondering who this person is because you just don't see this person around, and you're tired of the narrative of being told that there's someone there, there's someone there, there's someone there. Of course there's someone there. There's always, I mean, if you look out the window, there's someone there. But we're not also talking about that type of timeline, all right? The timeline is not meant to trigger the timeline that the expectation is going to come out on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the third month of 2032, all right? This isn't about trying to be that precise, because nor would you want it to be. Nor would you want it to be, because if you have a due date, you're going to drive yourself absolutely bananas trying to figure out if you're a perfect version up until that due date. It's a double-edged sword to know something and then be a high priestess about it, and knowing when you can speak on certain things or when it's best to not. There's a constant war of, was that a good idea? Which is then the true energy of the moon, right? Where the moon can be very secretive and not really being very precise in what she targets at. But nonetheless, it's exactly what she wants. Ace of Cups. It's exactly what she wants here. Ace of Cups. Your thirst for love is beautiful. Yeah, look at that, Knight of Cups. Your thirst for love and emotional connection is beautiful. Your longing and hope for fantasy and longevity and connection is intriguing. You're really doing your best to be the best, like, honestly. And there's not much work you need to do besides just paying attention. You know, 2 of Wands. Paying attention, because paying attention is what you like to do anyway, Gemini. So paying attention to your choices with the 2 of Wands energy and allowing yourself to make them with your heart space will teach you so much about how you've not only been able to bruise other people, but how you handled the bruising of how other people maybe treated you. The richness of perspective can be almost cured by having a better sense of handling of choices. And that just requires not only awareness, but the ability to understand there is no such thing as right or wrong. However, there is an answer, and there is an answer that you must make. is the answer you must make. As in, this requires action. Make for a magician energy. You have to make something. You have to call it forth and make it. You have to put the work into it. This is not about asking for the Mecca, the Holy Grail, to show up and do the dirty work for you, for that you are here, the spitting image, in quote-unquote real time, and able to do it with whatever outer extremities you may need to get to wherever it is that you need to go to complete the task. For that you are the spitting image of being born and needing to remain in the staying power of being in a human vessel. For that the obligation is too high, but it can also be very magical. That's someone's exhaustion right there. They're like, yeah, but I'm tired. Nine of Swords, someone's exhaustion. Consider yourself being seen. I don't know you, I see you. Queen of Swords, the truth of reason coming through, making its way, representing yourself in your body. If you don't answer to it, then it would be to be ignoring who you are. And the last thing that you're doing here in this reading is trying to ignore who you are. So accept that you are doing a lot more than a lot of other people because you're searching for something and thinking that what you're searching for hasn't been found. You already found it. It's just about understanding why it's around, or what is around, for you to see what it is that you've been asking for a while now. Five of Swords, you've been asking for this with the King of Swords energy and justice to show up in the universal power of, hey, yo, God, help me out, bro. Show up. Pave the path. The King of Swords is communicating with you from the justice energy that it's your ego that needs to do the work, because your ego can see beyond the realm of comprehension and can dictate the narrative that a lot of people are afraid to do in quote-unquote real time, because it's still dependent on codependent relationships between people, because majority of the population are all healing wounds. So to find a connection that is void of problems is almost next to being zero. They're all going to have problems. The Queen of Swords understands this because the King of Swords is there to protect the Queen energy. This is a full balance of feminine and masculine energy here, as we have stated in the beginning. Alrighty. I'm going to slowly finagle our way out of here. Regrets are for the weak. Closure isn't needed. Old traditions. Alright, Gemini, I'm being told to leave the messages where they are. Again, if you'd like any of my services from tarot services or remote healing sessions, you can book them via the description box below, or inquiring also via the description box below. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.